Welcome back to Coin Explorer, where every coin tells a story, and even the smallest piece of copper can echo the heartbeat of a nation. Today, something that millions once overlooked. A coin that passed through the pockets of ordinary Americans, used to buy a morning coffee, or dropped in a wishing fountain by a hopeful child. It's a coin that many would call common, but in its simplicity lies a legacy. This is the story of the 1975 United States 1-cent coin, and it's not just about metal, it's about memory, it's about meaning, it's about us. Let's begin. The coin in your palm. Hold it up to the light. A single cent, 1 penny. It shines with a coppery hue, though slightly dulled by time. The obverse shows a strong profile. The unmistakable face of Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States. Engraved above, "In God We Trust," a motto that has stood since 1956, yet echoes deeper when placed above Lincoln's thoughtful gaze. To his left, liberty, and to the right, the year, 1975. Plain and simple. No mint mark visible? Then it likely came from the Philadelphia Mint. If there's a tiny D, it came from Denver. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial, one of America's most iconic symbols of democracy and remembrance. But here's the twist. Look closely. Between those stone pillars, right in the center, there's something you might have missed. That tiny figure, seated between the columns, that's Abraham Lincoln. Yes, it's a statue of Lincoln, engraved into a coin, that already has Lincoln on the front. This is the only U.S. coin that features the same person twice, front and back. A beautiful hidden-in-plain-sight tribute to a man whose impact still shapes America. A year of change. But what was America like in 1975? Why does this small penny carry the weight of a country in transition? Let's go back. The Vietnam War had just ended. Soldiers were coming home, and the nation was trying to heal. The scars of Watergate were still fresh. President Nixon had resigned the year before, and Gerald Ford was trying to rebuild trust in government. Gas prices were high, inflation was biting. The American family felt uncertainty, but also possibility. People were watching Jaws in movie theaters, listening to Bob Dylan and Elton John on the radio, and in their wallets, jingling in their coat pockets, or resting in candy shop jars, was the 1975 penny. It was more than change. It was a quiet witness to a changing time, a copper mirror of a restless, resilient nation. The metal that mattered now. Let's look deeper. The 1975 penny was made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. It weighed 3.11 grams, heavier than modern pennies. That's right. If you hold a post-1982 penny and a 1975 penny side by side, you'll feel the difference. That's because in 1982, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint began using mostly zinc, with just a thin copper coating. So the 1975 penny? It was among the last generations of truly copper-based coins. And that copper? It connects us to history. Copper conducts electricity. It connects circuits. And maybe, just maybe, it connects time too. From the fingers of a grocery clerk in 1975 to yours today. Who designed this masterpiece? The portrait of Lincoln on the front was designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, the year Lincoln's centennial was celebrated. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and not just a symbolic figure like Liberty. And the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, was added in 1959, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. It was created by Frank Gasparro, who would later become the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. Gasparro's work gave us more than just a monument. It gave us reflection. Through tiny lines and curves, he carved national memory into metal. And in 1975, that design quietly continued, unchanging, but meaningful. The penny's hidden life. Here's the part most people miss. Coins have a life. They travel. A single 1975 penny might have started in Philadelphia. Maybe it was paid to a waitress in a quiet diner in Ohio. Maybe it sat in a piggy bank in Texas for 10 years. Maybe it was flattened on railroad tracks by a curious child in Nebraska. Maybe it fell between couch cushions and was forgotten in Florida. And maybe, just maybe, it made its way across oceans, carried by a traveler, lost, found, passed on, until now, until you. What story does your 1975 penny tell? We'll never fully know, but we can imagine. And that imagination? That's priceless. What makes some special? Let's address the question many are silently wondering. Can a 1975 penny be rare or valuable? The short answer? Most 1975 pennies were mass-produced, billions were minted, and in average circulated condition, most are worth 1 cent. But, and this is important, some exceptions exist. Coins in uncirculated mint state or proof condition, with no scratches or signs of wear, may carry collector interest. Errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or unusual minting flaws can add uniqueness. Coins preserved in original U.S. mint sets or rolls may also hold higher desirability. But let's be clear, we're not here to speculate. We're not here to promise value. We're here to honor history, whether it's worth a penny or much more. The true value is the story it carries, and that cannot be priced. The lasting legacy. The 1975 penny reminds us that small things can leave big marks. It reminds us that even when times are uncertain, like 1975 was, the symbols we hold can ground us. In that little disc of copper is Lincoln's courage, America's monuments, the art of engravers, and the fingerprints of time. How many hands have touched your coin? How many hopes? How many silent prayers, tiny transactions, or moments of nostalgia? The 1975 penny might be common in number, but it's uncommon in spirit. It belongs to an era that still shapes our present, and now, it belongs to you. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the life, legacy, and quiet power of the 1975 Lincoln penny. At Coin Explorer, we believe every coin has a voice. Every detail tells a story, and even the smallest cent holds centuries of meaning. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, like, share your thoughts. Do you have a 1975 penny in your collection? What's its story? Until next time, keep exploring, keep discovering, and never underestimate the power of a single coin.